we are live. Huzzah! I like the new kind of UI they have for this. Oh, and before I forget, I might be too loud though. Maybe not loud enough. I don't know. I hope a little bit of it at least is coming out on the live stream. Anyway, hello everybody. Well, nobody's here yet, but I wanted to talk about Epic Mickey because I'm really excited for the game. Okay, maybe this is too loud. It's really hard to tell. It's, you know, it's really, really hard to tell what's loud and what's not. So I'm just going to boot up YouTube and make sure my mic is working too. And there's a lot of things I gotta check. I should have had this set up beforehand, but I almost never do. I always forget. You'd think I would remember, because I'm always saying that, like every time I go live, I'm like, ooh. But then I always forget, and it's like, oops. Alright. Do-do-do-do. Where? Okay, wait. I can just go to view my channel. Duh. Huh, weird. What if I just... Oh, here we go. Let's make sure this is working. What? It didn't load the video. Video load. Alright, it seems to be working. Alright, cool. Nice. We're live. It's all working. It looks good. But yeah, even if no one watches this video, that'll be fine. Or live stream. But I just gotta say, like, I am very, very excited for the Epic Mickey remake. I am very, very excited. And I wanted to talk about it with you guys and see what you guys are thinking and get your guys' thoughts on it. And I figured this would be a good way to do it. We can all begin. Alright, let's hope to stay consistent, YouTube. Don't break on me. Stay alive. Stay alive, YouTube. I need to make sure I keep live. I don't know who's gonna watch this because I didn't really advertise this at all, or that I was even going live. So I might have to, you know, go notify some people. Why is that a back button on my mouse? It's useful in games, but it's not so useful on, you know, on web browsers. Anyway, Discord. I hate Discord on my computer, but sometimes I gotta use it. And it needs to update, because of course it does. Why wouldn't it need to update? But, yeah, I see there's one person here, but that might just be me. So, I kind of want to let people know, but my browser's being stinky. My browser's being not letting me get. Welcome the person who just joined. Sorry, you joined in the middle of something weird. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties, yeah. So, one moment. I'm trying to get things to load, but it's all being bad. It's all breaking. Help. Discord needed to update right now, and I needed to notify people that I'm live. Discord's updating things is not helpful. Alright, at least I'm on the right account. Alright, and then what is happening? Well, let me tell you. If you'll let me. It's not letting me. Why won't it let me type? Why is everything so slow? Oh, because I'm live streaming. And it just did that. Okay. Alright, Discord, are you done updating yet? Nope. Why does it take so long? Anyway. Hey, guys. I'm live. Alright, and then boink, and then paste, and then boop, post. And I could, nope, Discord's still not done. Why is Discord so slow? Alright, there we go. Any comments? Nope, okay. So, hey, people are joining now. Yay, I gotta get over to Discord and notify people. Well, my Discord is being so slow. And it's updating. Alright, I'm finally in. I'm in, guys, I'm in. Man, let's... Oh, wait. Did it already announce? Oh, it did. I didn't even have to worry about it. It announced it already. Cool. Oh, and an advertisement in the middle of my Epic Mickey OST. How dare they? Anyway. Anyway, guys. Welcome to the people who joined. Welcome to the live stream. Um, Not a lot of people are here. I acknowledge that. But the point is, I'm here to talk about Epic Mickey, my interest for that remake, and see what you guys think. I'm really excited to play it. So let's start off with talking point one that I didn't write anything down, but this is just stuff off the top of my head. What about like that camera though? My main problem, I played Epic Mickey a lot. Okay, let me start over. I'm doing this terribly. When I was a kid, we had a Wii. It was the family Wii. All right. And there was a couple games on it. One, we had Wii Sports Resort, which I played to death. We had a SpongeBob Derby game where like you had to crash and break things with your monster truck. And 3, Epic Mickey. And oh god, did I love Epic Mickey, man. I played that over and over and over again. I remember the day I got it though. I got it for Christmas for a gift from my grandma, and I remember playing that endlessly. Like non-stop, I'd play Epic Mickey. Waiting for my bus that I joined for a bit. Nice. I'm happy to have you, Adam. Yeah, I'd play Epic Mickey day in, day out, as a little kid. There was a couple things I never did in Epic Mickey. A lot of the side quests I didn't do because I couldn't figure it out as a kid. And I don't think YouTube was a thing yet. Or if it was in its infancy and people weren't uploading Epic Mickey videos. As a kid, I always waited for people like Chuck Conroy to make an Epic Mickey game series, but he never did. So I was kind of left on my own figuring out what to do. And I did eventually beat the game, but a lot of the side quests I never ended up doing. One of the ones I remember like more prolifically is the whole some of the bosses in the game I couldn't figure out how to beat with paint. Like the clock tower boss, for example, one of the very first bosses you fight in the game. There's supposed to be ways to beat every single boss in the game, right, with paint. But I couldn't figure it out with the clock tower, so I always beat it with thinner. And always got not the bad ending, but like the medium ending, where it's like, yeah, you did some good, but you did some bad ending. But like, I always wished, like, in Epic Mickey, that it would kind of like tell you what to do more. Like, hey, you go here, you do this. This is how you beat the boss with paint. Like, a lot of the time it is pretty explicit, but like, sometimes you're like, what do I do? Where do I go? Or like, you're left wandering around for hours trying to figure out where to go. It may have just me being a dumb kid. I couldn't tell you. I just remember, for example, spending like hours in Tomorrowland and in the Ghost Place. I forget what the Ghost Place is called. But I remember spending hours there just trying to figure out where to go. The pirate section, kinda, but not really. I was only there for like maybe 40 minutes trying to figure that out. Epic Mickey, and there was a couple other problems with Epic Mickey I had as a kid. For one thing, the camera always screwed me over when platforming, and I would always like fall into the vat of thinner, and it'd always make me so angry because I'd be doing so well, and then I'd die, and then have to make my way back to where I was. It was always so frustrating because the platforming was pretty good for the most part, but the camera would fight you like every step of the way. And it was always so frustrating. And then another thing that was kind of frustrating when you're aiming with your Wii remote, sometimes you swear you're aiming at the right thing, right? Like you're shooting it, but the game doesn't register it for some reason. So you gotta move around the game a little bit to get into the right position to paint it. And that's not a problem like a lot of the time, but like when it does become a problem, it's really noticeable. And you're like, I'm just trying to play the game, and it never like killed me or nothing. It was just one of those things that like annoyed me as a kid. Um, Epic Mickey though, generally as a kid was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it, and honestly, I'd highly recommend that to anyone who wanted to. I highly recommend the remake coming out to anybody who's ever wanted to play the game or has like a passing interest. But I really, really hope they work on the camera. That's like the main thing I want them to fix. The graphics are cool, everything else is pretty cool, but please, for the love of God, fix the camera. You know, like at least give us like control over it. And if you can't give us control over it, not don't like zoom out the camera a bit, or maybe give us a lot more room to work with. I don't know, just something to help. Something to help with that just would help. Could go a long way. Um, Another thing that I noticed, and this is neither here or there, but I wish there was more upgrades in the game. Like I understand, like, hey, look, you can get bigger capacity for your paint thinner, but I wish there was like upgrades. Like, oh, when you use paint, it takes less paint to do something, right? Like it drains slower. I don't know if that can, like they can do something like that, but that's something I'd love to see in Epic Mickey, where like there's more upgrades to your abilities and you can kind of like customize yourself a little bit more, like with costumes. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but like I remember seeing concepts for like Scrapper Mickey and like Good Hero Mickey. Like that would be like I think that would be a really cool idea. So like the more heroic you're being, the more paint you use, you get more of like a heroic kind of look, kind of like the Infamous games if you've ever played them. How your character kind of looks like the path you chose. Like those are really cool. Although I am worried that if they do that, something else might go weird. I don't know. I really, really want it. I'm just worried how they'll implement it. But it's by the same people who made SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, or the remake of that game. So I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident they can do something pretty cool with that. If they were to do that, I don't know if they will. Um, it's interesting they said the new movement mechanics though, like the dash and all that. How is that gonna work with platforming? Is it just gonna be like save you when you're about to fall off, or like that's my question, right? Because a lot of the platforming in Epic Mickey is made very broad because in the original game, the Wii didn't have the most best controls for moving around. But like, how is that gonna work? Another question I also have is like, how is aiming the brush gonna work on console? Like, I have a PS5, for example, right? So like, if you're using the brush in the game, how are you gonna? Because on the Wii, you have to use a Wii, the Wii control to that needs shake it to do attacks. That's easy. You just map that to a button. But like aiming it around the screen and shooting, shooting paint or thinner, wouldn't you need more fine control? I understand the Switch has that going with the Joy Cons, but how is like console and PC gonna do that? Is it gonna be mapped to the mouse on Steam? Like, how is that gonna work? Because like in a first-person shooter, it's easy. You're aiming down the gun, but this isn't like that. This is it's a not top down, but a third-person game where you need to aim your wand around to paint and thin things. So how's that gonna work on console? Like I gotta ask, you know what I mean? Like, hey RN, welcome to the stream. But I gotta ask that, like, how is that gonna work on console? Because that's gotta be awkward, right? Like, picture this: you moving your controller around like this. Oh, I'm painting them. I'm painting them. Like I don't. Or are you gonna use like? Well, no, because you gotta use the other one for camera control. So I was thinking like could use like, oh yeah, you can use this to move aim around, but I'm like, no, that doesn't make much sense because that's your camera control. So are they gonna have it where it's like this? Because I haven't had to do that with this in a while, and I don't think this can do that. I don't know what no said. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm really interested to see how they work on it, because you know it's just very interesting, right? Like I don't know how they're going to implement that, because in the Wii it was intuitive, but I don't know how that's gonna work. So that's one thing I guess to be aware of and keep in mind is the fact that they're probably going to have some weird aiming system, because that's always been the problem with remaking Epic Mickey is it's kind of stuck on the Wii because of its controls, right? It's not like other games you can port easily because it's like, oh, this doesn't use the motion controls that much. But Epic Mickey was a game basically built with motion controls in mind, and it's not like a small amount of motion controls. It's like a lot of motion controls. So what do you do about that, right? Like that's another like huge concern I have for the remake. How do they work on the motion controls and make it fit into a console like the PS5 or Xbox? Because I don't think the Xbox has any gyro controls of any kind or anything like that. So how do you do it for that console, right? Like, because I know the Nintendo Switch obviously has gyro, and I think the PS5 has it. I don't know that for a fact, but I think the PS5 has it. I know the PS4 had it. I just don't know if the PS5 kept that feature because of the whole light bar in here is gone, right? So I don't know if that's still a thing. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is that gonna work? And then I don't know. I'm equal parts excited and worried for this remake because I have no idea how they're gonna do the controls for this. No one's talking about that. How are they gonna do the controls for this game? Because yeah, I understand. Oh, new movement skills. Okay, but how is the aiming going to work? Like, how do I need to go out and buy a PlayStation 5 VR? No, they don't. The little the PS4 VR wand. I have it. I have a PS4 wand, but I don't think that'll work on the PS5. Although that would be kind of fun. My little one. No, I don't think that works on PS5 because it doesn't have the scanner anymore like the PS4 had. Which is good because that system is dumb. So yeah, it just leads me to question like, what's the plan here? It's not like you can use the PS5 VR controllers because they're like the Facebook Quest or Meta, whatever it's called now. They're like that. So what's the deal with the controls, right? So like yeah, camera controls I'm worried about. Um, I'm also kind of worried about like the original game was pretty dang fun, and its art style kind of mixed well with the old timey 1960s, 1950s Disney. How is that gonna mesh well with the new Unreal Engine graphics? Are they just gonna keep all the original stuff in there? Are they gonna add new stuff? Are they gonna add like I don't know, like I don't know if they're gonna add anything to it or if they're going to do anything special with it. Like I don't know, right? But I gotta ask because what are they gonna do with this remake? Are they gonna add new content? Are they going to keep the original game, like kind of like Diablo 2 Resurrected? If you guys have ever played that, the game is pretty much exactly the same, just updated graphics. So are they going to do that with Epic Mickey remake? Because I know they're already adding like new movement, right? New movement into the game that wasn't there originally. So, are they going to add any extra content, right? Or are they going to add like a new UI? Another thing I gotta ask is, are they going to add like brand new, brand new collection to get, right? Because the original game, it was probably quite rich with things to collect, but I also was kind of sad because you couldn't collect it all, and that always bothered me. You could only collect a certain amount of pins on one run, and then you reset the game and got the other pins, but you couldn't have them both, right? And that always bothered me. So they're gonna add like a new game plus where you can go back through the game and get the other pins, because otherwise, I don't know how you would 100% complete the game, right? So they're gonna add that kind of feature where you can do Game Plus, run back through the game, but this time you can go down another path and keep all your old pins. And then you got like a little pin collection going down. I don't I don't know if they would do that at all. Um I just think that would be really cool. Obviously, that would be really hard to implement because for the new game plus, do you keep like your paint? That'd also be a good question. If you did a paint run and then went and did a thinner run, would you keep all of your paint cans that you got in the previous New Game Plus? Or would they reset that? Because I feel like you would have a really unfair advantage. Well, not advantage, but like, you'd be really strong off the face of the game with New Game Plus. And how would you even balance a New Game Plus for Epic Mickey? Spawn like tougher enemies in the beginning? Because by the end of the game, you're already dealing like pretty substantial damage to all the enemies, so... Another thing, as well, if you do a New Game Plus, or if you do another paint run on a New Game Plus, would you get even more paint, or would you get like exclusive upgrades? Granted, I don't want it to be done that way. I'm just throwing things in the wind. I would rather get the upgrades in the run rather than wait till a second run of the game to get them. But like, just thinking about that stuff, right? And then, the thinner path. If you were to go to thinner path, how would that look? Another thing I'd like to say, I really hope with the paint and thinner path, they make more options for the paint and thinner path, right? Like, for example, what if in Oztown, you could, if you chose to go complete paint path, Oztown would reflect that, right? Like, people would be cheerier, and there'd be more restored buildings, and you wouldn't have to paint in as much. I don't know, just an idea, right? Or if you want like the thinner path, things look more desolate. People are kind of hopeless. People are sad. You know what I mean? And like more kind of stuff like that. Maybe your actions affect the world a bit more. Again, I know it's supposed to be like a remake, not just or a remake, a remaster with just updated textures and stuff. But like stuff like that, I feel would go a very long way. It doesn't even have to be like super major. Just like change how the world looks just a tiny bit. Like I don't know, maybe in the place where Mickey's house is, you could have the little great green fountain in there, slowly turn to a fountain of paint. Like just stuff like that. I think would be really cool and go a long way. Obviously, probably not gonna happen. Just stuff I'm thinking about that would go a long way in a remake, right? But is this more of a remaster? Because they're just updating the textures? Because I think you could technically classify this as a remaster if that's all they're doing, right? But they are adding more movement stuff, so it's like... It's really hard to say one way or the other, because like, on one half you want to say, oh yeah, it's a remaster, but on the other hand it's like, well, they're adding some new content, so is it really a remaster? Is it a remake? An you know what this used to have things for this. Used to call it an enhanced port. This is basically an enhanced port, like the Mario collection that came out a few years ago. It's an enhanced port. Looks like I'm out of time. This was fun, guys. I gotta go. Thank you for the one person who showed up. This was fun. Sorry we weren't live that long. Yeah. Only one person came, but that's okay. I appreciate the one person who came, and this was a pretty fun talk. Bye bye.